let's take a quick minute to go over sharpening from the aspect of image size. Okay, and the whole point of this tutorial is to let you know that all images have to be sharpened, unfortunately, a little bit different. What one size does not fit all, I guess, is the whole point of this. And I just want to demonstrate that to you. So let's take a look here. If I go to image size, we could see we have a fairly high resolution photo here, 25 by 3800, 240 PPI. Okay, well, let's go to this one here, and I'm actually going to close this. Let's duplicate this image. Okay, so image duplicate, click OK. Let's go to image size, which it should be exactly the same, right? Let's go to image size. Let's change it to 72 pixels per inch. And let's knock down, the size even down further. So 600 by 900. I'll click OK. So that's resized this photo, but I'm going to zoom back in almost to 100%. So they look relatively the same on screen. Well, let's go ahead and let's duplicate the layer here, Command or Control J, and let's sharpen this photo. So we'll go to Filter, Sharpen, Unsharp Mask. And in fact, I'm going to zoom in because I want to be able to see the sharpening here. So 50% works pretty good. And this photo can, as you can see here, it can hold a pretty decent amount of sharpening. I mean, look, 330%, radius 1.3. I'll zoom in for you even more. And you can see it holds the sharpening really well. That's before, that's after. Okay, so I don't really see any crunchy areas. I see a little bit of a halo around things, but not too bad. That would smooth out really well in printing. But as I look through here, I mean, things don't have that crunchy, gritty look that over sharpening can give it. Okay, so even though we have some really high settings here, this high resolution photo holds it really well. So we're going to click OK. Well, let's jump over to the other photo. Let's in fact zoom into a little further than 100%, kind of the same area though. And we're going to go to Filter, and let's come down here to Unsharp Mask. The trick is if you hold down the Option key on Mac, Alt on a PC, and you click on it, it opens a dialog. If I don't, it just goes straight to the filter. If you hold down Option or Alt, it opens the dialog. Honestly, I don't want the dialog box open because I really want to reapply the same settings, so you could just go Filter, Unsharp Mask. So consider that the useless tip of the day because you really didn't need it, but it might come in handy one day. Okay, so Option or Alt will open up the dialog with the same settings. Leaving it off, we'll just reapply the filter. Now, look at that. That's not good. Okay, so what we've done here is we've over sharpened the image. Things are crunchy. If I zoom out a little bit here, it looks over sharpened. Okay, the more you zoom in here, let's take a look. Before, after. Look at what happens to the edges. They get a really, really bright halo around them. Look at the edge around the balloon. It's got a bright white line. That probably won't smooth out during printing, okay? A little bit of a halo, yeah, you can get away with it. But these really bright, discolored lines that appear around the edges are bad, okay? That's over sharpening. It makes everything almost have a gritty, pixelated, blocky look to it. And that's not good because it just gives it that crunchy type of a look. It makes it look over sharpened, and that's certainly not what we want here. So the whole point of the tutorial is just to let you know that one size does not fit all. What are you looking for from sharpening? Well, if it's a screen resolution file, let's open up Unsharp Mask here. I'm really looking for something that just looks subtle. Okay, it's added some contrast to the edges. That's before. That's after. I might go a little bit higher than this. Before. After, just to add some contrast to the edges. And what I'm always keeping an eye on, I'm always looking at the edges, the high contrast edges, to make sure that there's not a really, really bright, discolored type of a halo around those edges, which is kind of a sign of over sharpening. You're also looking for textures, things like that could also make it look like it was over sharpened. It gives it that crunchy, kind of gritty look, which we really don't want. Okay, so just keep that in mind as you are sharpening your photos. One size does not fit all. If you learned good sharpening settings for, let's say, a printed photo, don't think you can use those same sharpening settings if you had a smaller, low resolution image that you were going to put onto the web.